I'm gonna start. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to open I'm going to go to Create Parts and start a new project, and it's going to be a hair. So what I have in here is, this is Newsea Pinocchio, which is a hair that has all of the ages attached to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to export this as all ages hair. Whoops, that already exists. All ages hair 3. That already exists. Number 4. There we go. So I'm going to export that, and then I'm going to re-import it to the game, and then we can close Body Shop. If anyone has any questions at any point, please put them in the chat. I have it open on my second monitor so that I can always see it. So I am going to navigate to my workshop folder, and I'm going to go to my saved sims folder where that file that I just exported is, and I'm going to drag it to my workshop folder, and I'm going to rename this Newsea Apple Seed Recolor F All Ages. And then I'm going to, what I'm going to do is find the mesh for Newsea Pinocchio, which is in my downloads folder, and I'm going to copy it to this folder as well. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the Newsea Pinocchio mesh in SimPE. I'm going to go to Tools, Object Tools, Fix Integrity, and I'm going to just put Apple Seed at the beginning of this. I usually don't rename the strings. I just add something identifying to them so that you can tell which hair it is supposed to be. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save this as, and I'm going to save it as, let's see, we're going to do Newsea Apple Seed Mesh Female Adult. Then we're going to do Mesh Female Teen. We can go ahead and do the male meshes, but we will need to make another recolor to actually do those, which I will do after the age tutorial. Oops. Male. Adult. Then we do child, which is just unisex, so unisex child, unisex toddler. Now what we're going to do is we're going to open each one of these individually, and we're going to delete all of the resources that do not correspond to the age and gender that we are working on. So you can see that some of these say AF on them. Those are the only ones we're going to keep. So you just select all of the other ones and delete them. You're going to do this with teen, 2. Going to do this with the male meshes. And you're going to do this with the child and toddler meshes. So the child, delete all of these. And then the toddler, we are going to delete everything except the toddler, which is PU for some reason. I guess it means preschooler because T already meant teen. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to open up that recolor package. We're going to go to all res and we're going to sort by instance, and we're going to link this recolor package to the mesh. So after everything loads down here, okay, so I'm going to take the PJSE body mesh tool linking stage, and I am going to navigate to the folder I'm working on, and I am going to link that to the unisex toddler mesh. And then the next one is going to be child. I don't know why it keeps sending me back there. Next one's going to be teen female. The last one is going to be adult female. And then I'm going to go into property sets. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the young adult and elder stages. They're the ones that are marked by the letters 40 and 10. I mean, the numbers 40 and 10. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add them to the adult stage. So I'm going to change the number from 8 to 58. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Commit. That's what I meant to do. And then I'm going to save the package. And what should happen is, when I load this package, it should be a working instance of Newsea Pinocchio now. So I'm going to throw them into my folder here. Just check and make sure that they are linked right. Gonna go to build sims and just check out and make sure this hair is there. So we do have success. The hair is linked properly. So I'm going to quit now, and I'm going to throw them back into my workshop folder. Now, what I'm going to do now is open up the original mesh for this hair, which is Newsea J245F or Apple Seed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to extract the meshes from this hair. So I need to extract the female mesh, the adult female. So I'm going to just call this AFGMDC. And I'm going to extract the TF, and it's going to be called TFGMDC. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the original recolor for Apple Seed and extract its texture. We're just going to save it as it is to the folder. And then we're going to open up the adult female mesh that we edited. And we're going to replace the GMDC. So I copy the file name that is located in the generic recolor editor below. I hit right click on the GMDC and hit replace, and then I'm going to replace it with the AF GMDC and reload it, and then paste this information back in. Gonna do the same thing with the adult mesh, or I think I did the teen mesh accidentally. Hold on. Okay. Replace the adult mesh with the adult file. And then save. Replace the teen mesh with the teen file. There we go, now that's right. Okay, so what I am going to do now is open up the recolor, replace the texture with the one that I exported. Now I'm going to throw the adult and teen meshes back in with the recolor package to just make sure that it's working properly. Gonna load Body Shop. This will take a second. Oh, hi, Digi. You're okay. We're not too far into the tutorial yet. So I am going to load this hair again. And I know exactly what I messed up. Here is something that you have to pay attention to when you are doing gender conversions. When you open up the original mesh, this is Pinocchio. Yes, Bishta is in the game. When you go to the GMDCs, you can see down here that it lists the hairs under a certain name. Like this one is hair _ alpha 5. The ones that are in here, if I check the male mesh, it will tell me. Wait, no, I have to check the original. Hold on. Gotta check the original mesh. If I can find it. There it is. So it lists them as hair alpha 3 and hair alpha 5. So I've got to go into Milkshape. SimPE loads really fast on this computer. Like, it is amazing. So we're already going to Milkshape. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go down to Unimesh import. I'm going to open the AF GMDC. And all I'm going to do is change the alpha from alpha 3 to alpha 5. Go into the comment and do the same thing. And then export it as a Sims 2 Unimesh exporter. I haven't decluttered the Milkshape menu on this computer yet, sadly. So this is AF GMDC fixed. And then I have to do that. I'm gonna go ahead and save this as a Milkshape thing. And I'm gonna go ahead and do the teen one while I'm here. So TFGMDC, we're gonna change the 3 to a 5. And then export it. And then we are going to replace those again. So this is the TF one. This is the AF one. And then hope and pray that it fixed it. Because sometimes I do this and it just, like, it doesn't do it. Okay, genetics. Oh, it fixed it. So that is what you have to do anytime you run into that problem. So I'm gonna exit. And now comes the fun part. I'm going to start making it edits for the different ages and for the male conversion. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save this TFGMDC file just in case I need it. Make a new one, and I'm going to start by forgetting to download Dr. Pixel's bodies, which I need. So I'm gonna have to sneak into the workshop files and download them real quick. Okay. Got those. Oh wait, I may have those. Hold on. Gonna import OBJ, documents, Sims archives, G converting. There they are. So I need to open up an adult male example for the adult male conversion. And I'm gonna turn on colored groups to start off with. Now I'm going to do Unimesh import, include additional bone definitions because this has none. Then I'm going to navigate to my workshop folder. I'm going to add the AF GMDC fixed version to this. It actually doesn't clip that much, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to select both parts of the mesh. I'm going to scale them a certain amount. Like, usually on X I do about 2, on Y I do about 2, and then on Z I do about 3, and then you move it forward on the male mesh because the male body is more forward than the female body for some reason. You can see it clips, so that means more scale. see it clips the eyebrow there, so it needs to scale a little bit here. This might be a mesh where if I was doing it normally, I might go in and like move the single vertex, but I'm not going to do that here because it's more of like a quick tutorial. So just know that when I release this hair, this part right here will probably not be clipping. But I'm going to copy the notes from the scalp, which is called hair. Copy the comments to the example scalp. Rename it to hair. Delete the original scalp. And then you're going to deselect everything. Select the scalp. Go to vertex. Sims Unimesh Bone Tool. And you're going to set the top line to 7. And then apply to all and commit all. Now you can save this. AMGMDC. Delete the example body and face. And export it to a file. So I'm just going to call this AMGMDC. Next I am going to do the teen male. So I'm going to start with wavefront objects, import the teen male example body. Gonna import my mesh over this. Whoops, wrong thing. It does. That is true. And on this this hair you would be able to see it. Usually I set it to the whole head on most of the hairs I do because they cover the neck. But you're right. I need to go back and fix that. So I'll show you how to fix that. But I'm going to do the teen one first, and I'll show you how to fix it on the teen one, and then later on I'll go back and fix the adult one. So I'm going to import the TF mesh that's fixed over this. I mean, it sort of covers the neck. I don't know if it would be a problem on this hair. I don't know. I will look into it. So I'm gonna select both parts of this hair, scale it a little, just kind of randomly, and then scale it a lot, like that. Move it forward. Make sure the back is not clipping. Make sure the top is not clipping. Make sure the bangs are not clipping. If you ever have a mesh that shows the neck, what you want to do is you want to hide the hair when you're messing with the scalp. So what you're going to do is you're going to copy the comment from the original hair's scalp to the example scalp. Rename the example scalp to hair. Delete the original scalp. And then you're going to put on wireframe mode. And what you're going to do is you're going to select the scalp. Well, you don't select the scalp. You go to the tool select. And you're going to select just these 3 vertexes on the neck. This one, and this one. And you're going to make sure the head is not visible because you don't want to assign bones to that. So you're going to go to the Unimesh Bone Tool and you're going to assign it, I think it's 70% to head or 50% to head, something like that. Let's say it's 50% to head and then like 50% to neck. I think that's how you do it. I haven't done a hair like this in a very long time, Most of my scalps do clip through the hair, but you never see them. So that's a way of sort of fixing it. But then you can like unhide the hair, save the file, tmgmdc, and then delete the example body and face, and export your fixed file, tmgmdc. Whoops, I forgot to assign the bones correctly somehow. I didn't. Okay, I know what I did. I didn't set it to head. I'm just gonna set it to head, but the thing I showed you with the 3 vertexes is how you fix the clipping if you have a head that a hair that shows the neck. Okay. Just get this kind of moving along. Okay, so gonna start a new file. Now, this is the age converting, and it's a little bit harder than the gender converting because it requires so much more editing. So what you're gonna do is you're going to import a Sims Unimesh, but you're not gonna import the hair that you're working on. What you want to do is you want to find a hair that has a toddler or a child mesh, and you want to export their child or toddler meshes. So I did this to Newsea Pinocchio. So I'm going to import the child mesh for Newsea Pinocchio. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete everything except for the scalp. And then I'm going to import no additional bone definitions. I'm going to import the TF mesh over it. And you can see it floats above the head. I'm going to delete the scalp for it. And then I'm just going to work on getting this to match where the actual child head is. So, let's try this. Whoop, wrong way. I'm gonna go ahead and import the child body. Turn off wireframe. See, it's kind of setting close to where it needs to be, but it's got a little bit of work necessary to fix this. A little too far. I think this is gonna be about right. And after we move it forward a little bit, we're going to scale it down just a tiny bit. Make sure it doesn't clip. It looks like it needs to be moved forward a little bit more, so I'm going to do that. Scale it on the Z axis. And it actually fits the child head very well for some reason. Like, I'm very surprised. Okay, I'm gonna call that good. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open another instance of Milkshape real quick. And I'm going to open the adult mesh that I did and saved. Turn off bones. Reset the windows. Turn off back faces. And I'm gonna import the adult female mesh back over it. You don't have to do this, but I'm just checking to make sure that the hair sits naturally on the child's head. And I think it does compared to the adult. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and save this as CUGMDC. And then I'm going to delete the example parts and then export this as the child hair. Okay, the last one is the toddler. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to import the Newsea Pinocchio toddler mesh. I'm going to go ahead and delete the hair. Import the hair that I'm working on over it, the child mesh that I did, CUGMDC. And then import the toddler body. So there we go. And just gonna work on moving this down. That is a little bit big for her. So we're gonna delete that scalp because we don't need it. Okay, scaling. I'm gonna scale on the X, scale a little bit on the Y, and it's probably definitely gonna need some scaling on the Z. So, just gonna move it around slightly. It needs to be further back on the head than the child one is. And scale it down. Scale it down on the Y. You just want to make sure that this neck part here is sitting on the body in the correct way, if that makes any sense. Like a lot of hairs, when you do the conversions of them, it's kind of natural the way that they need to be shaped. But some hairs are a lot harder than that. You gotta like kind of poke them and figure out how to reshape them for the toddlers and children. This needs to be scaled a little bit on the x-axis, a little bit scaled down, moved back a little bit on the z-axis, and I think it is good. So I'm going to save it as PUGMDC, and then delete the examples, and then export the finalized mesh. So PUGMDC. So that is all of the Milkshape work done. So what I need to do is go back to my workshop folder. What I'm going to do is move the files back over, and I'm gonna go into the mesh for toddler and child. So this is child. I'm gonna just copy the file name and then replace it with CUGMDC. And save. Do the same for toddler. PUGMDC. And we're gonna move female adult, female teen, unisex child, unisex toddler, and the recolor for F back into the folder to test it in Body Shop. Okay. So it should be the first thing in custom hairs. Let's see, the adult looks fine. The teen looks fine. Child looks fine. And I fucked up the toddler. So that's something that I have accepted I just do sometimes. So what I have done is messed up the bones somehow. Not sure how I did it. I must have accidentally hit yes to the additional bone definitions, but it's a quick fix. So I'm gonna go to Milkshape, and I'm going to import the toddler mesh that I have. Make sure its skeleton is toddler sized. I mean, I can't tell, but it looks toddler sized to me. And I'm going to import over it, with no additional bones, the PU GMDC that... What did I do to it? Something has gone awry. The skeleton looks very big. Anytime this happens, I just redo the stage, but I think that it's kind of... You kind of get, like, how it works, and that is something I can fix later. Like, you just make it in Milkshape, you do not import additional bones, and it will show up correctly. Where is that, Digi? Is that in Milkshape or is that in SimPE? Milkshape file preferences. Okay, let me open that file. Yeah, that did look kind of weird, didn't it? I don't know, like, what what I did. Just gonna save this as PUGMDC2. Try to import it, see if it'll import. Too many joints to find in file. I don't know exactly what that means. I get that error sometimes, but that's what I was thinking. I'll go ahead and fix it. It's not going to take very long to fix it. I just need to redo it, which it didn't take very long to do, so do a new instance of Milkshape. Import the Newsea Pinocchio mesh. Import the CUGMDC. And then that should be... I don't know if that's what it's supposed to do or not. I'm still gonna scale it down and hope for the best. Okay, gonna import the body, because it is hard to tell where it needs to be from the scalp alone. Go back to colored groups. Okay, that should be good. So, save this over the file that I just had. Delete the example body, export it to Unimesh. Okay. So I'm gonna just go to a new file real quick and try to import that and make sure it doesn't have the error. So that one doesn't have the error, so that one should be fine. So I'm just gonna take the toddler out. Replace its GMDC with the fixed one. I'm gonna go ahead and preview it down here in the models to make sure that it's showing up correctly. And it looks like it is. So save, put it back in the game, and launching Body Shop. Hold your breath, everyone, because I'm so hoping that that fixed it. It did! It might be a little large. I'll probably go back and maybe tune it up a little bit later, but this is how you do the conversion. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a recolor of this conversion. I'm just going to call it Newsea Apple Seed. Just going to put here FQ Newsea Apple Seed. Re-import it to the game. And this is how you do a quick gender conversion once you have all your files together. You're just gonna go to Save Sims, take that file, put it in your working folder. I'm gonna go back to downloads and check what I named the female one, and I'm gonna name it the same thing, just with M in it. Okay. So, what I'm gonna do is just open the mesh, or open the recolor, sorry. Go to 3D, well, not 3D, all res, and then sort by instance. And then you can leave toddler and child alone, because they're gonna use the ones from the female mesh. So what you're gonna look for is the one for teens. After stuff loads again, stuff for the one for teens. PGA SE body mesh tool linking stage. You're gonna go to your working file and you're gonna link the teen male mesh, and then you're gonna go to the adult one, do the same thing, but of course with the adult mesh. And then go into property sets, delete the last two, change the age on the fourth one to 58. And then you need to change the gender on all of these from 1 to 2. You can just delete the what is in the box, put 2, and it'll automatically fill in the zeros. Whoops, that's age. Don't change age. Now what you want to do is you want to open up the adult mesh. You're going to locate the GMDC, copy the name, and replace it with your AMGMDC. And commit that. And then open the teen mesh, and you're going to do the same thing. Now you can move the male meshes over. Check them out in Milkshape. Build Sims, build or clone Sims. This is for males. And it works fine. So that is the process of converting a hair between ages and genders. It's a little bit... It's not tedious because it involves like a bunch of different things, but it can be kind of hard. What's weird is that what I do is I set them to 2. I have them have different recolor packages, but they use the same mesh. So the recolors are set to 1 and 2, depending on which gender they are. I'm sure you could do it that way, setting it to 3, but I don't know how you would handle the adult meshes in a recolor package like that. Does anyone else have any questions about the gender converting or the age converting? Or I'm gonna take this time to just go in and fix the toddler so that I can end with a kind of a good result. One way to get a better feel for how a hair is sitting on a mesh is to actually use materials. So I go into the working folder and I just apply the material that I got earlier and make sure it's set to textured. Make sure it's set to, I guess, back faces. Well, I don't know why it's like that. Missive. Specular. I guess sometimes you can't use the retexture. Strange. Oh, I forgot to do that, did you? There we go. I forgot I had to do that. I turned that off on my last one, but for some reason it turned itself back on. I think the auto smoothing was on because it smoothed the toddler, but it didn't affect the hair mesh at all.
Hey all, I just wanted to record this short outro to my video. If anyone has any questions about gender converting or age converting hairs from The Sims 2, feel free to reach out to me and I will try to help you if I can. So, thank you for watching my video, and I will see you later.